Hello, everyone. Welcome to WMBT University Health and Business and Health Podcast. How are you all doing? Hoping that you are doing fantastic. I wanted to come and do a show today, and I think I need to put a comma on something because just looking at it, it says University of Business Health Podcast, and it's we have the business but we also have the health part. So I need to fix a correction on that. But anyway, let me get to this. How are you all doing? I am in my new home. Yes. I am in my new home. Um I am so happy. When I tell you guys, I am so happy. I am so happy. Words can I explain how happy I am. There's a lot of great things that are happening. I'm in my room. Um, I don't know. It's different. I live in a two-bedroom apartment with two bathrooms, kitchen, living room, and balcony. Right now I'm in my bedroom with my fireplace that knocked the chill off because it's cool outside, and plus we have the air conditioner on. So yeah, I'm kind of cool. So I cut my air conditioner on. I mean my fireplace on. But I'm happy. And today's show, I want to talk about something. I really want to talk about don't be content in where you at. Don't be content. A lot of you all didn't quite understand, and I'm very sure that you probably said to yourself, why is this lady, she can't never stay consistent and doing what she want to do and all this time. And you're right. But here's a story I want to share with you all. And I did not know this until my daughter shared it with me. I might have told you all, but I don't remember. But anyway, my daughter shared with me about a week ago before I moved. And she said, Mommy, if we wouldn't have pushed you, you would have died. And I listened to her very good. I listened to her very good. And she said, you would have died, Mommy. And I did not realize how dark my world was until I moved into my new home. And I want to share something that really blew my mind. Last year for my birthday, I bought me a beautiful diamond tennis bracelet. Not a lab diamond, not a zirconia cubic diamond tennis bracelet, but a real tennis bracelet. So when I was at home, my tennis bracelet always looked dull. And it was like, did this jeweler actually gave me a fake tennis bracelet? Or what, I couldn't understand. So I would buy the cleanser, wash the bracelet. It still looked dull. It's like, I don't understand. I mean, I don't understand. So when I got here and got moved in and thank the Lord for my children. And I want to give a shout out to my daughters, Miko, Alina, Chablis, Genevieve, Jose, my children. My other two daughters, they couldn't help because they don't live here in where I was living at. But anyway, we all put our heads together and we moved the stuff. I didn't from where I lived at to where I live at now, it's maybe about an hour away. But we would load up the cars and bring a little bit at a time. We would clean up a room, bring a little bit at a time until we got it all, got everything cleared out. So one day I was in my bathroom and I started seeing my bracelet sparkle. I'm like, wait a minute, this thing is sparkling. And I use this as a symbolic. When you come into the light, everything glows. Don't be content to where you at. Don't do that. Although the apartment that I lived in, I was there for 10 years. Um, I went through a lot of stuff that was really crazy. And I shared some stories with my doctor, my therapist, and I'm not ashamed to share it with you guys. And maybe you can kind of understand when I say don't be content. Don't be content. Although the Bible says be content in everything that you do, but don't be content in something when you can move to something better, if that makes any sense. Um, I would be laying in bed and I actually could feel a person sitting on my bed. I would be asleep and I could actually hear voices of children in the room. Now, mind you, the apartment where I stayed at had bullet holes in the front door. I did not know that until I was with one of my god brothers. I kind of shared with him. I said, "There's a bullet hole." He said, "Yeah." He said, "I was here when it happened." He said, "We were out. We was asleep, and the guy got shot." I'm like, "Are you serious?" But the landlord did not change the door. And at the time, the home that we lived in was being sold. So we really didn't have time to really pitter patter around to find somewhere. We had to take the first thing that we seen. Well, we had a hurricane and we had to put a new back door, and the landlord put the door, but the door was so high up a little bit where water was coming through, and it was like, are you serious? But I never did say anything because at the time I wasn't working. So I took care of my mother, and she died in the house. Well, all of this craziness was going on. I could be in bed and I could literally feel a person having sex with me. I'm being honest with you all. And I would wake up and like, what in the world? I could not understand it. I couldn't. And for some of you all that might be listening to these, y'all know about all these types of spirits. I don't. And every day I would be so depressed. And until when I talked to my doctor, I would tell her I need these pills. And she would tell me, she said, something is not right. She said, I'm gonna go ahead and put you on the medication. And then each time that I tried to do a show, I would be so drained until I didn't feel like doing it. So when we moved here, my daughter told me, she said, I want you to give me all your clothes and I'm going to wash them. I said, okay. And she said, we're going to do spiritual baths. Okay. Now, some people don't believe in spiritual baths, and that's okay. But I had to get whatever was trying to attach itself to me. I had to get rid of it. And so when I shut the door behind me, I remember sharing a few tears. I'm not gonna lie to you, because like I said, I've been there for 10 years. My living room stayed cluttered. My ex-husband would come and see me, and he would bring junk because he's a hoarder. And it's like no matter what I would do, um, I would clean my floors. My floors would look dingy, and it's like, oh God, what in the world? And I think I remember saying this about my daughter when she came home and she said, "Mommy, something is not right here in my head. Mom, my head don't never hurt. My head is hurting." And I'm like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. But I remember when I walked out the door, I prayed. Now, please don't misunderstand me. I cried a little bit because my mother's spirit is still in the house. And I love my mother more than anything in this world. Whoever that guy's spirit was still in the house. But when I shut the door, I prayed before I left, I prayed. And I said, Father, God, I thank you for the good times and I thank you for the bad times. I said, but please, whoever come in this home, please remove all the spirits and let this home be a blessed home. I remember saying that. Well, they're going to have to redo the apartments anyway because that apartment is an old apartment. So they're going to have to redo it anyway. And plus, they were jacking up on the rent for a two bedroom, one bath, a kitchen, not really a backyard, but like a little backyard, was 1,350. Well, it was okay. I still as much as I could. But then my daughter said, Mommy, I got a friend who's a manager and she wants us to come. And I'm like, okay, I don't know all this. Let me share some with you all. When I moved into the apartment, and when I came to the apartment complex, I felt like I was walking in luxury. As you come into the apartment complex, you have like a water fountain. And the water fountain, they don't really cut it on, but what they did, they have plant flowers there. Beautiful. Oh my Lord, beautiful. And as you ride around, spacious. It's just that beautiful here. You go out on your patio. You have enough room to where that you could, if you really want to, put a nice fire pit, everything. And when I came, I'm like saying, "Oh my God, is this really my new home?" So my daughter moved in before I did, and she told me, she said, "Mommy," she said, she said, "I feel peace there." And so when I moved, I had to get here a certain date so that I could set up my office and everything. And since I've been here, I felt nothing but peace. And this is why I try to tell you, don't be content. Move up. Don't be content in that home where you stay at. Don't be content. Move up. You might say, well, I can't afford it. Yes, you can. Give a good example. The apartment that I live in now, we paid 1,300 and something because we have washer and dryer. Now, we could have very easily say, well, we're not going to do that. We're just going to take the clothes to our own site on our own site laundromat. But I said, you know one thing, because if I would have did that, the rent would have only costed $1,200. But because we said no, we want a washer and dryer, it bumped the rent up. But guess what? We don't mind paying it because the other apartment that I lived in, I didn't have that. Now I was right next door to our laundromat, but suppose it's pouring down raining outside. Suppose it's cold outside. Don't nobody want to take no laundry outside in no rain. I know I don't. So where we have our laundromat thing here, I'm content. And so I have a walking trail. We have a gym. And then I was blessed to where that I could start doing teaching classes in my complex. We have a little community. So you might say, well, yeah, but I got a lot of memories here. Sometimes it's best to let those memories go. Sometimes it's best to do that. Like, my family like keeping up a lot of pictures. I don't. I'm not a picture person. I don't like keeping a lot of pictures. Now, if I see a real nice picture of something, I might do it, but no, I won't do it. I am free. And this is what I want you all to do. We have 2 more months in 2025. Well, 3 more months because November haven't got here yet. No, 2 more months because this is October. I want you to sit down and I want you to write out something. I want you to change your life in 60 days. I want you to write a letter of content. What do you want God to do in 60 days for you? And then when you do that, meditate on it and then manifest it. Allow God to manifest it. I mean, my room, and then yesterday, oh my God, I had an opportunity to keep my 14th grandchild. She was just born. And before somebody said, "Oh man, you old," no, ma'am, I'm showing. But I had my children when I was young. I had my children when I was in my early 20s. Um, I was married, and so I said, think I want my children to grow up with me. But instead of my children growing up with me, they grew up by themselves without a mother because I got injured and I couldn't bring my children up. But we'll talk about that a little later. But anyway, so my daughter and her husband, I'm calling her husband. She asked me, she said, "Mommy," before I moved, she said, "Mommy, you want to watch the baby?" I said, "Yeah, why not?" So they brought her up, the baby up, and so my son-in-law said, "Hey, you want some change?" I'm be honest with y'all. I'm not with all this new stuff that y'all be putting out here. I changed. What you talking? She said, "Mama, some money." I said, "Oh, if y'all want to pay me, good. If you don't, it's still good. You know, this my grandchild." So he put some money in my pocket, in my hands. So in my apartment, I don't have a ceiling light. I have a ceiling light like in the hall that goes into the bathroom, but not a ceiling light in the bedroom. I said, Lord, I need to get me a light. So as I'm still learning the city, I said, okay, I asked my daughter, I said, where's Walmart? And she told me, I love odd things. I've always loved odd things. I seen this lamp. Oh my goodness. It looks like it's paper mache, but it's different. It looks like where they took some paper and just wrinkled it up. I mean, just wrinkled the paper up. If you would have bought it, if you would have bought it, not from Walmart, you would have paid at least a good, maybe $100 or $200. But I got it at Walmart and got their brand, and it only cost me $17. But guess what? The light is so beautiful. It is so radiant. I mean, it's so beautiful. And I sent a letter. I sent a picture to my fiance, and he sent me a heart back because he know how I am. But see, I'm not just gonna stop with that. I'm gonna get a standard and place the lamp up a little higher because I like stuff. I like odd things. You know, call me crazy. I don't care, but I like odd things. But since I've been here, I've been able to do. I feel lighter. I was so excited about doing this podcast today, but I had a meeting because a lot of you don't know I have a school, and when I was in the old home, I didn't feel like doing classes. Here I'm just giving money away, and I didn't feel like doing classes. And it's like, Lord, what is wrong with me? What is truly wrong with me? Am I going crazy? What is wrong with me? And once I really got here and got me together, that's the key. Got me together. I was able enough to bring my attention back, if it makes any sense. Don't be content where you are. 60-day challenge. Sit down and write. What do you want done in 60 days? What is it going to hurt? I mean, truthfully, what is it going to hurt? Nothing. It's not going to hurt a doggone thing. Keep your mouth shut. Don't tell no one. Keep your mouth shut. In 60 days, what do you want? Now, tomorrow, I might do another podcast. Or either I might set my schedule up, do a podcast every Monday. I don't know yet, but I'll figure it out. But I'm excited. I created a, a newsletter. I didn't even feel like marketing my newsletter. That's just how bad it was. Now I can do my cooking shows. I created a dish. It's not really a dish. I'm into healthy eating, and that's just me. And so what I did was, if you got a pen, write this down. I created a morning pudding. I've been seeing this advertised all on Instagram. And this is what I like about recipes. You can always add a little something, no matter what. And they was talking about using condensed milk and Greek yogurt. So what I did, I said, you know what? I'm gonna do something. I added a can of condensed milk, which that milk is sweet. So you don't need to add no sugar. That milk is sweet all by itself. And I add the Greek yogurt, and then I add some oatmeal. I have a cup or a cup, however you want to do it. It really all depends on it all depends on what you're cooking it for. If you're cooking it for your family, if you have a big family, double the ingredients. But if you're just cooking it for yourself, use the single ingredients. And I didn't use the imitation vanilla extract. I use the real extract, vanilla extract. And I add 2 eggs. I blended all of that stuff together and put in a Pyrex bowl dish and baked it. When I tasted it, because what I did, I blend the oatmeal. What I did, I used my wand and I blended it so good to where you can't really taste this oatmeal, but oatmeal is in there. You can, and plus, how I know it has a lot of fiber, and I can feel my stomach. If that makes any sense. Okay, then Greek yogurt, you get your probiotics. The condensed milk already has the sugar in it, so you don't have to add no more sugar. The eggs have protein. The oatmeal is good for your heart. So you're getting a nutritious breakfast, but only thing in like a pudding. And so I created that, and I'm like, now I feel like myself. The creativeness is coming to me now. So I'm putting that into my newsletter. When I come back, when I do a show either tomorrow or next week, I'll put in I give you all the link to my newsletter with the recipe in it. And I baked it for 30 minutes on 350 until the top was golden brown. These are the things I love doing. So after doing all that, I came in and I had my meeting with the school, with the platform that I use for my school, because I love teaching. And so in the meeting, as we are talking, the guy told me, he said, I want you to click on this link right here. So I did. And now they have an audio. I'm like, oh my goodness. You are, he said, yes, we have, now you can do your classes in audio. Wow. Wow. Are you serious? That just fed my ego. No excuse. I can do my classes now. I can advertise my school on my YouTube channel. I'm good. I'm good. So, like I said, with me being in my new home, I'm content. I'm happy. And yes, you all gonna see a whole lot from me. I promise you are. Um, I work split shifts. I go on at 7:15. I get off at 11:15. I go back on at 5 and get off at 8. So I'm looking at close to 5, maybe 6 hours of nothing but work. On the weekends, I'm off. I can do my shows. So yeah, I'm very content. When I tell you guys, I'm very happy. And then we plan on going on Roku. Plan on going on Roku. So yes, that's going to even be more fabulous. So yeah, um, I'm very happy. So this is what I'm saying. Don't be content where you at. Find you something better. It, for what I understood, if you are in your 60s, now from what I understood, it doesn't mean it's right, but from what I understood, if you're in your 60s and you get on Section 8, the government will not force you, will not cut your Section 8 off. From what I understood, now I could be wrong, but from what I understood, affordable housing, I can only speak about here in Florida. I cannot speak about other places. I have seen some beautiful affordable housing, beautiful homes that look like them things could go for at least about $3,000, but they don't. We're not talking about projects. We're talking about nice homes. Start looking. Pull yourself up. Don't let 2025 pull you out of here and you haven't accomplished nothing. Don't let it do it. Build yourself up. You have 2 months to do it. Don't let 2026 come up in here and it's woe me, this and that, all this. Don't do it. Don't do it. Pull yourself up. And I'm going to give y'all some nuggets. I'm working on a class right now. And in this class is teaching you how to build a chat box. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to do automation. And as I do the automation, I'm also going to fix it to where that I can show you on video how to go about doing it. I'll be able to share the screen and show you how to do it. Now this course will cost $100 because I am a certified AI tech, so I can teach. But this course is $100. And you might say, well, I don't need all that. It's too much AI. And to a certain degree, there is a lot of AI out here. But at the same time, I feel that the Lord is allowing, giving, doing things to bring out the creativeness out of us. I believe in that. And I believe that we can do it if we put our minds to it. Well, listen, thank you all so very much for being a part of the show. I'm going to make a correction on WMBT University of Business. It's supposed to be University of Business and Health, but the business part, I think I might remove out of there. I don't know. I might keep the business. I don't know yet how I'm going to do it. But I will be doing classes. I have one class that's already out, and it speaks about kidney disease. And what happened was I took this class off of a class that I did off on Facebook. And I don't charge, I don't think I charged anything. I'm gonna find the link and yes, I did. I charged a certain amount. I think it's like $50, but nobody paid because people, But it was really a test. It was really a test. But I'm gonna give you the link to the school, and I will be uploading classes. I'm gonna try to do a class every day as much as I possibly can. But be encouraged. Don't give up. Move forward. Don't be content to where you are at. Move forward. And when you move forward, you will see better days ahead. Once again, thank you for listening to WMBT University of Business and Health podcast. I am your host, Lady Michelle. Have a beautiful week.